pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Curry trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
A little bit
Follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's featured presentation of the TMP Championship Series live here on JTN. We're so glad you're joining us here tonight as we head to the Trenton Fairgrounds here, renewed, reinvented, reinvigorated. Hello and welcome, folks. My name is Joe Twansky, joined in the booth tonight by the one and only Mr. Dewey Schramm III. Dewey, you got a copy?
I do.
Ha ha ha.
Had some trouble getting to the track here, but we made it just in time.
Yeah. We'll talk with your lawyers later, I guess.
All right.
Ha ha. But 103 laps tonight around this 1.5 mile oval question mark. Obviously a classic track.
Sort of?
That's yeah, right, exactly, sort of. I mean, what would you classify this track as?
A bean.
A bean.
Yeah. The old 1 point, whatever you just said, mile bean here tonight in old Jersey.
The bean. I'm going to Chicago this weekend. I'm going to see the bean. I don't think I'm actually going to go see the bean.
There you go.
I've already seen it before. Oh. Apparently for qualifying, you start on or you start... Okay. All right. Interesting. Anywho.
The more you know.
The more you know. 103 laps for these drivers tonight. 6 drivers still with a shot to advance to next week's championship. Of course, 1 driver, a wild card, who will get the most points throughout these first 4 races. Dewey, with those drivers being the 0 of John Wall, the 85 of Josh 2, the 6 of Rich Knappick, the 9-10 of Jamie Tedder, the 24 of Viper, and the 86 of Irv Johnston, what do you see as being the key for a driver that... Or, I'm sorry, the 86 of Daryl Johnson. Look at me mixing them up. But what do you see as being the key for these drivers, knowing that they only really have to beat 3 guys out there tonight to advance for a championship, but also knowing that, you still want to get some points here just in case you're not one of those top 3 finishers?
Yeah, I don't think you can pinpoint a single key to this race. I think you have more of like 3 or 4 smaller keys that you build up to having a successful night. And obviously you're going to want consistency in every way possible, Clean laps, repetitive laps, get yourself into a groove really quick. Don't make any unforced errors, whether it be on the track or on pit road, because a speeding penalty could very obviously take any of these guys out of contention. Obviously, you might see some strategy if we get a green flag cycle. You might see some of these guys stay out to try to get some points, during the cycle and lead a couple laps where the leaders or dominant cars might come in sooner. So you'll see a bunch of different things, but for those 6 guys, again, the absolute most important parts are just minimizing any unforced errors and just staying out of any trouble that could possibly arise. Because as long as they finish the race and, as you said, beat a couple of those guys, they'll be in pretty good shape.
You only got to beat 3 guys to have a shot at a championship next week at MIS. So watch out, look out. Gonna be a fun time here tonight. Of course, folks, if you haven't already, drop a like on the video and make sure you are subscribed to us here on JTN. We appreciate all your support. You can also check out, if you want to get in on the action, the TMP Racing League website. We have that linked down in the video description below. Encourage you to go check them out. Expect announcements about the happenings for next year. Heard some rumblings, a lot of cool stuff going on, so encourage you to stay in the loop with everything they got going on here at TMP. Of course, tire limits are in effect here tonight. Two sets Dewey will be laying in the pits for these drivers, so 12 tires in total, including the 4 they start on. Managing tires has become a key, especially with our race 2 weeks ago. We saw tires really matter. Everyone kind of taking that slow pace that we thought the NASCAR Cup Series was going to have at Bristol this past weekend. How do you see tire wear, knowing that the tires can only just barely make it to the end of the 34-lap fuel run?
Yeah, this adds a very interesting wrinkle into how these guys are going to approach the race because, like, personally, I've never done a race in NR, whether it be as a driver or a commentator, where there's been tire sets enforced. Like, obviously you can set that in iRacing sessions, but I've never seen it in NR before. So, firstly, I'm just curious to see how these guys manage it because, you know, anytime I've done a race, it's just, oh yeah, I can go in, get 4 tires, no one cares, whatever. But to, you know, hard enforce a 2-set rule like this, and to have the fuel runs end where they are, you're talking a 34-lap run. That means that for that last run of the race, your tires are going to probably max out with about 2-3 laps to go. Mm-hmm. So I would think for the early portion of each of these 3 runs we're likely going to have, that these guys take it nice and slow. You'll probably see some slower lap times because they're going to want to save as much of that rubber as possible to really try to force the issue towards the end of this race.
You're saying that race car drivers would force the issue, possibly?
Yeah, it's a crazy concept, don't you think?
It is pretty crazy. There's the kink in the backstretch. It's a good shot of it. But qualifying has concluded. Dewey, why don't you take us through tonight's starting lineup?
And taking us to the green flag first will be the 67 of Brian B-Wanger. I apologize if that's not pronounced right. And to his outside will be the 44 of D. Rubino. Back in row number 2 will be the 6 of Rich Napick and the 9-10 of Jamie Tedder. Tom Musa and Tom Goodman, the 2 Toms in the field, make up row number 3, with Irv Johnston and the 61 of Dick Jordan back in row number 4. Completing the top 10 to start off the race, the 86 of D. Johnston and the 2 of Richard Finkel. Viper and Josh 2 make up row number 6, with S. Rubino and John Palmer back in row number 7. And the last 2 cars on the grid for tonight, Jim Windrow in the 12 and John Wall in the Goose Egg. Shotgun on the field. So 16 strong here for tonight. Got a solid field, solid track. Should be a good one.
Should be a good one indeed, folks. So sit back, relax. Get your favorite snack ready and just be ready to watch some good racing tonight. That's all we can ask for.
Good racing.
Right?
Yeah.
See Benjamin, Barb, Ann, Jason all in chat. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in here this evening.
I don't think I've ever done a league with this type of uniform paint scheme in it either, which is interesting.
Well, it's
obviously
IROC.
the old IROC mod.
Come on.
But no, I know about
Dewey
IROC,
was like,
obviously.
Dewey was like, what are these cars? And it's like, Dewey, come on. It's IROC. You call yourself a motorsports historian and you don't know what IROC is?
Well, hey,
You're going to disrespect Pontiac just like, you know...
To be fair, I asked that before I had opened the game, but also reading IRC did not register IROC in my head. So.
Oh my goodness. Dewey, honestly, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of you.
Yeah.
And disappointed for you. But also, I'm ashamed.
Tell you what, though, some solid-looking automobiles as a result. Cannot go wrong with the old Pontiac.
Looks better than a Cybertruck.
Say that again.
It looks better than a Cybertruck.
I think it'd be funny if iRacing scanned a Cybertruck just for fun.
I don't think they legally can do that.
You never know.
But they could scan a Pontiac Aztec if they really wanted to.
They could do that. Get every Pontiac model ever in that game.
I think the Aztec was ahead of its time, honestly.
It was.
Yeah.
It's a good, solid car.
Well, no, let's... okay, it's... It was still a
What?
Pontiac. Let's pump the brakes just a little bit.
Nope, full speed ahead.
Good, solid car is not the descriptor I would
If
use.
it was a Pontiac, it was good.
Okay, Tommy Bordeaux.
I don't make the rules. Yeah, shout out Tommy.
Shout out to Tommy. Hope he's not going through it right now.
It'd be cool to have a Tommy's World segment for a track as unique as this one.
I think Tommy would just like throw eggs at the wall or something.
As long as they're Josh's eggs.
As long as that's right. Good commentator. Good broadcaster. Big thank you to Josh's Eggs out of Dunn, North Carolina for their sponsorship of this TMP iRock series here and all these races being live right on JTN. As drivers get called to their cars and we await the command to get engines fired here from Trenton. Such a good game.
Your engines.
As there is the command. And we'll roll off here. Just see the field go on by.
A very colorful field at that.
Very color. You know, I like it, but also it is so hard to like know who's who for me, because I always go off of numbers.
Right.
You know, and especially the
Trying to
numbers.
associate a color with a driver is a unique challenge.
It is especially because there's like a couple green cars, there's a couple red cars,
Yeah.
there's 3 blue cars.
There's pros and cons to this type of design for sure.
I still love
but
it though,
Of
because
course.
it's different.
And the uniform gold stripe on every car is a nice touch to do.
It is a nice touch. They did a very good job.
Hopefully everybody in the field here has a nice touch to the gas pedal here for this initial start to the race.
Nice easy touch to the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Field makes their way down the front straightaway. And the green flag is in the air, and we're underway here in race 3 of the TMP Championship Series. Ooh, we already got one around. That's Jamie Tedder.
Boy.
For the
Uh-oh.
championship
Oh, no! And up and over goes the 33 of Tom Goodman. There in the middle of turns 1 and 2.
Caution, gonna be out for
I
the
think-
first time here tonight.
I think the 61 got a piece of that as well, the blue car. So made it about a fifth of the way around the track before trouble struck, but still a ways to go. Maybe not for the 33 though.
Did you see the Goodyear blimp is grounded in the infield?
Now, what's up with that? Definitely some contact there. I think from the 33
Yeah.
initially, and then up on the side he goes. Hopefully the damage for Tom Goodman isn't too bad, but a wild ride to start the night off either way.
Let's go on board with Dick Jordan, that is right behind Goodman here. Also collected up in this.
Yeah, not a lot he could do there in that situation.
Oh, no.
But that 33 does have a good amount of roof damage. I don't know how much other damage the car has, but the roof is definitely caved in
It's a little bit.
considerable amount now.
Do you know how tall he is? I don't know. Were you down there in the garage? Did you put the old tape measure up next to him?
I don't know. I wasn't quite able to get that in before race time. Dang, New Jersey traffic making me get to the race just before it started. Well, Tom Goodman already off of pit road, so wasn't on there very long. Hopefully for him, that damage is all cosmetic and nothing under the hood is jostled around too much.
The hood. I like how you said that.
Yeah.
I've missed talking to you, Dewey. You don't work anymore.
Been a while.
Been a while.
Tell you what, though, the JTN on-site meetup at Davey's wedding reception was
That's
very nice.
legit the last time I've talked to you.
Really?
Probably. Probably not, actually.
I think there were a couple times in there somewhere.
Maybe.
Shame we didn't have the time to do anything for the channel there, but that's alright.
Yeah, real shame.
On-site brand activation.
Brand activated. Have you ever activated a brand?
Activated. What's that?
I was gonna say, have you ever activated a brand?
Not really.
It's good. It's difficult.
Yeah. Well, the pace lights have been deactivated here, as you've got the 1 to green. The 6 of Rich Napick got up to second prior to caution coming out, so he will join the 67 on the front row. Or is this a single file restart here tonight? I think it's a single file restart. But either way, the 6 is now up into second place. So we'll see what he's got here for the 67 of Bieswanger on the restart. Looks like John Palmer just hit pit road here, coming to the 1 to green. Still have to try to catch up before these guys make it around again. Little last second adjustment.
Field gets ready to go back green. Single file here. Let's see if that plays dividends. Green flag, and we're back underway.
Tell you what, the 44 of Rubino left a pretty big gap there between himself and the 6 of Napick between second and third, so that's going to hurt the 44 and everybody behind him in terms of trying to get up to the front, at least in the short term. I'm not sure if there's like a rule here about spacing for single file restarts, but that seemed a little big for the gap either way.
Musa clips the apron a little bit there on the entry to turn 3. Or is that turn 4? Are there 5 turns or 4 turns here? At the kidney
I am
bean.
not knowing. Maybe like a half turn, like turn 3A or something down the back. I don't know.
If there are any numerical people out there, Let us know.
What turn 5?
What turn 7? I mean, technically every racetrack has 8 corners. Every oval.
This is true. Of course, this, though, no ordinary oval.
Not even an oval. Windrow with a pass. Looking at by Daryl Johnston for 6th. And he will.
Yeah, great job there, diving it into the low side where the hole was there and took full advantage of it. Now up into P6, the 12 will go.
And he'll be in a Johnston sandwich.
And the 49 in front of him and the 86 behind him. Top 3 are looking to separate themselves here from the rest of the field as Rubino up in 3rd and Musa in 4th, separated now by, I believe, over a second now, if not 2 seconds.
When we talked about
It looks like
tires, Dewey, being critical, are these top 3 maybe pushing the pace a little bit too much to where it's going to be a detriment to them at the end of this green flag run if we get it?
A bit hard to tell because obviously these 3 could very well be the fastest cars in the field, but they also could be, you know, using up their tires faster than those cars behind them. So for right now, obviously, they look strong and, you know, showing that by being up at the front, but time will tell if they are indeed using those rubbers up too much compared to their peers towards the back.
You ever use a rubber up too much?
Sometimes.
Oh. That's gross. Family friendly.
Hey, in a race,
Okay.
said Goodyear on it. Sometimes Hoosier. Family-friendly tire war. Tom Musa is under attack here from Jim Windrow for this 4th spot as the 12 had gotten by Irv Johnston in the 49 to get into the top 5 and now looking for P4 from the 4 here down the front stretch. At 12 looking pretty good right now. We'll see again though, like those top 3, if he's using up more of his tires in the process. But there he goes to 4th place, the 12 down the back. So hard charger award tentatively already to Jim Windrow.
Got a colorful rainbow back here. All behind this 86 of Daryl Johnston. That's Josh 2, one of the championship drivers. Trying to get past another. So this kind of that battle for one of these championship spots.
Getting a little squirrely here down the front. Viper tried to make a move there on the 85, who almost got into the 86. As Josh 2 is going to get this spot and barely clear Johnston there.
I don't know if he got
Looked
called
hairy, but it
clear,
worked.
but he said he was clear, you know?
Whether I'm clear or not, I am clear.
I am clear. I am the table.
So pass made there, up to 7th place goes the 85. And we've got still like 7 cars under a blanket here down the front stretch.
Viper losing a spot as well.
As John Wall in this mix, Viper still up in here, Jamie Tedder. Tom Goodman, despite flipping on lap 1, he's still battling with these guys as well.
Crazy sentence.
Yeah. Perseverance, man. Guess he caught a lucky break not getting any engine damage despite having the wheels facing up towards the sky, but...
Out in front, it's now Dan Rubino with the race lead in the 44.
he was running third a couple laps ago.
He took it away from Rich Napick, who took it away from Brian B.
Perhaps some tire conservation going on there for the 67.
Here comes Napick looking back for the race lead.
Good move there out of turn, question mark there
5.
on the bottom.
Let's just call it 5.
And he'll lead it at the line.
Because it's officially a Casey Kane Friday this week. Like an official one.
Yeah, and a Casey Kane race week, finally.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Been a while for him.
Been a while.
I didn't think we'd ever see Casey Kane back in a NASCAR race, but I am certainly happy that I was wrong about that. That'll be cool. And for a track that hasn't been used in that series in about 2 decades.
Yeah. Yeah, what, Jamie McMurray won the last 4 races there or something?
I was hoping he'd, like, get a ride for the race to try to defend that, because it'd be really funny if they went back there and he still won again.
Yeah.
The king of Rockingham. So, Rich Napick, the king of Trenton so far, through 19 laps.
What does that get you, King of Trenton? I know we got some Jersey folk out there.
A meet and greet with Chris Christie? I don't know. We'll have to workshop that one throughout the race.
I think so.
Here comes Jim Windrow. That 12 is still on a heater right now, as he's gotten by the 67. Now working on Dan Rubino to the outside, and I think he's going to get the 44 at the line here, Joe. Up to P2.
And Tom Mosa also making inroads on these top 2. Windrow with a crossover here as Rubino gets close to the wall off of turn 2. Into the kink.
Taking every inch of real estate available to these drivers to make or fend off a pass. If it's paved, use it.
Windrow goes through to P2.
And that 12, of course, oh yeah, we mentioned tire conservation a couple times already, but regardless, that 12 definitely going to be one to watch here throughout the night with the amount of spots he's picked up since the restart. Trying to close in now on the 6 for the top spot in the race. As the 12 was about a 10th faster last time around than Napick was. And we'll see what the difference is this time, but will likely be about the same. And there he is. To the outside, Windrow goes through the kink, and he's going to clear Rich Napick for the lead. So new leader, the 12 of Jim Windrow here on lap 23.
An impressive drive out of driver number 12.
A very, very impressive drive.
And probably about 10 laps away from green flag pit stops as well.
Will be interesting to see what happens, assuming we do have a green flag run, because a couple of drivers did come in on lap 1 for
Fuel.
a pit stop.
Yep.
I would assume it was to top off on fuel, so we might see a few of these folks stay out a lap or 2 longer than the rest of their peers, but we'll have to see how much of a difference that will do tire-wise.
Dewey, I'd almost want to make these first 2 stints longer than the final stint, just so I can open myself up for, if this thing ends up playing out that it's a long green flag race to the end after that first caution. I want to give myself the opportunity to short pit and take advantage of fresh tires on that last run.
I think that's a very viable option, but of course that leaves you with the risk that if you pit too early and short pit it, by the end, the guys that pit later will probably catch up to you for tire wear, and it'll be quite the challenge to try to fend off new tires on considerably older ones. There's obviously a trade-off with any decision these drivers make, but short pitting right before the last run, I think personally would be a bit risky for, I don't know, for me, but, you know, I'm sure the crew chiefs have some ideas jotted down somewhere for how they're going to approach this.
You can't bake your cake and eat it too?
I mean, you can, but Nothing says you can't.
I mean, I can't right now because it's still Lent. I'm so close. So close. I got another day and a half.
Well, you know who won't win tonight, and that is the 07 of S. Rubino, as he
Steve
retired from
Rubino.
the race
Out
a
of
few
this
laps
one.
ago.
Oh.
So down to 15 on the racetrack here for the rest of the night.
Steve, of course, was getting a new seat broken in today into his racing rig. Came out of a Volvo.
Wow.
You ever been in a Volvo?
I have never been in a Volvo.
Me either. Tom Musa looking for 4th. And he'll take it.
Yeah, our pole sitter Brian now back into 5th in the 67 machine. He's got Irv Johnson in the 49 in his rearview mirror, as is the 0 of John Wall. We'll see if the 67 can keep himself in the top 5 or if he's going to continue to trend in the wrong direction right before this set of pit stops.
So what's the Dewmeister been up to lately?
Not much recently.
Alright.
Not a whole lot. Actually, just preparing for this race, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, not a whole lot besides watching the Bruins explode in real time.
Ha! Don't worry, your team will be rebuilt before mine is.
They really messed that one up, huh?
Multiple times. Multiple times.
The Iser plan is something.
It is something. We need lottery tickets. We need draft picks. Must collect draft picks.
I miss Brad Marchand.
He's only been gone for a month.
I miss Brad Marchand. Up into 5th, though, goes John Wall in the 0, as the 67 is going to start missing the top 5 here pretty soon.
So the 0 and the 12 started on the last row, right? And
Indeed.
Wall
Looks like
just
the John...
drove around the outside of Tom Musa. And Dan
Oh,
Rubino's
Forrest
coming down
coming
pit
in.
road.
The Force coming in, both of the Johnstons are coming in, looks like, and yeah, Rubino as well. So here's our first takers on lap 33, just a shade under a third of the way through this race.
The 0 hit the nitrous button, man. Look at him
He
go.
really did. Has the same look to it that the 12 had when he took the lead about 6 or 7 laps ago. And I believe the 12 and the 6, looks like all 3 of them actually are coming in. But look at the run that John Wall just got. If he can get that woad down and not get a penalty, he might have just stole the lead
I
from
think he
both of
did.
them. That was a heck of an entrance there for John Wall. Wow. And they'll be joined by pretty much everybody else here. I believe Rich Fenkel in the 2 is the only car yet to come down pit road. So a bonus point to the 2 for...
Oh, no, the 12 might have sped, or at least he had a long stop.
Uh-oh.
The 0, I'm sorry.
Yeah, perhaps a hold for speeding on entry. Because it looked a little bit quick, but
He's
it also
quick on
looks really
exit,
cool.
too.
Yeah, trying to get around Josh 2. He already got one of his spots back. Oh, these guys are merging right in front of the 33. That was a bit of a close call there through the kink. I don't know if the 33 is pit yet, so that was a bit interesting to see. No, he is not. So there goes Tom Goodman down onto the pit lane, so I think the 2 has some people a lap down here, Joe. The 2 has still not come down pit road, so we only have, for right now, I think 2 or 3 cars on the lead lap. But when this cycles out, I believe Tom Moose is going to be the new leader.
I believe you're right, because here comes Rich Fankel now.
So Winger looks like will only fall 1 spot here to second. John Wall third, and the big winner of this cycle might be Josh 2 in the 85, as he's going to end up 4th when the dust settles here for this round of pit stops. I think the 67 had a very prolonged stop as well. He's being scored now in 12th. Our pole sitter there towards the rear, at least for the time being. So it definitely seems like you can be fast and aggressive and not use up the tires too bad, because we saw Jim Windrow in the 12 drive through the field and kept it up there when the entire field came down pit road. And he didn't lose any ground, and now he's going to try to pass Musa for the lead again. So whatever Jim Windrow did, the rest of this field needs to take notes on it, because it clearly worked better than anything that anyone else has done so far tonight.
And that includes getting past coming to pit lane.
That is true. But even that didn't phase him, so I don't know.
Just better.
The 0 is still in 3rd, but was not able to hold the lead despite that big move there.
So now we play the waiting game a little bit again, don't we? We're gonna see a lot of these.
Seems that way.
I see a lot of these guys kind of just bide their time. Take it ice it easy. And then as we approach that 68 lap mark, that's where you maybe see things get cranked up again.
Yeah, unlike the last run, though, nobody currently driving through the field at Mach whatever the way that the 12 did on the first run.
Mach whatever.
And the top 5 separated by under a second last time by. About a second more to Rubino in 6th, and about another second to the next little pack of cars. So we got a good battle here from 1st on through 5th, but it doesn't look like anybody's being awfully aggressive or really pushing the issue for right now. So I think, yeah, this middle run is going to be probably the tamer one of the night, where you just tick the laps on by and then set up the finish for how you want to run it. See what all these guys concoct here for how that will go.
I almost feel like you want to just run the pace of the leader at this point, right?
I would definitely think so, because again, we saw what the 12 did as we see a move for the lead here by Tom Musa, and he's going to get it here through 1 and 2. But the way the 12 drove to the field, again, these guys should be able to figure out now that, you know, you can force the issue with the tires at least a little bit and have it not come back to hurt you by the end of the run. So, starting to see that now as John Wall makes the move for the lead on Musa, who's now got Josh 2 behind him. So just like that, Windrow going from 1st now to 4th and maybe 5th if the 6th can get him here into turn 1.
Whoa, Dan Rapino.
85 got the apron there a little bit into turn 1 as well and went up the hill. He holds on to 2nd for now as him and Musa go at it here. Of course, those two have both done battle in the Maverick Cup Series as well. So those two very familiar with how the other races. Big send there into 1 by Windrow, but it didn't get him the spot there on Musa. Tell you what, Joe, I miss Maverick Night in America.
Well, you can watch it over on Tarnation TV.
You can. We had some good fun doing that, though.
We did.
It was a good run.
It was a good run. That's right. Who is the gold car? That would be John Wall. Barb, sorry. Apologies.
At the number 0.
Right now, your drivers to advance in the championship would be the 0 of John Wall, the 85 of Josh 2, and the 6 of Rich Napick. Those are your top 3 of those 6 still vying for a shot in the title hunt next week at Michigan.
Yeah, the top 2 doing everything they need to do right now. The 6 probably wants a couple more spots before the end of this thing, but sitting pretty for right now, just shy of halfway. Had the lap 1, turn 1 caution, but it has been smooth sailing ever since.
Feels like once this field got spread out, they kind of...
got a groove going.
Yeah.
Looks like we're coming up on a slower car here. John Palmer in the 108, so it looks like he'll go a lap down here to the leaders. And he'll let him on by on the bottom. Battle for 3rd, Jim Windrow around the outside of Tom Musa to take that last podium spot back.
So Windrow just taking a slow climb back to the front.
Yeah, it definitely seems like he's been taking it easy the last 10 or so laps, but maybe decided, you know what, I'm going to sit back up in my chair again and gain these spots back. No more lollygagging around these parts. As we have crossed the halfway point in tonight's race, 53 laps down, 50 left here in New Jersey.
Joyzy.
Joyzy.
Forget it, but I can do that, Dewey. You can't. I'm allowed to do that. You're not.
Why's that?
On my paternal half of my family is from Jersey, so my dad's side. So, but everyone can make fun of your stupid Boston accent. So,
Aw.
what, you gonna
Now
cry?
your family, right?
You gonna cry
Did
in the
they,
Harvard car yard?
Well, your family from Jersey, right? Were they big fans of Gabagool?
They're Polish, so they weren't Italian.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Worth the ask.
you know. Not everything's Tony Soprano. So,
I'm walking here. These guys are driving here, but
they are driving. And they're driving
know.
good.
they are. They're driving real good right now. Battle for P4. Tom Musa up top. Rich Napick on the bottom. Musa will hang on to that spot for now, but the 6 definitely letting him know, hey, I'm here, and I want that spot. Looks like the top 3 are starting to separate themselves here from the next little group of 3. This was a group of 5 for the majority of this run, but now breaking apart into 2 smaller pods. And out of turn 5, Windrow looking underneath the 85 here for second. I think Josh 2 will hang on for at least one more corner, but the 12 is right there all over his back bumper now. Looks like the 6 is taking another crack at the 4 here. Through 4 and 5, and Napick will get it this time. So move the 6 up into 4th place with just under 10 laps to go until we see these cars down pit road once again.
Gotta get aggressive, right?
Have to. We saw that earlier with John Wall on pit entry, and it worked out pretty well for him. Perhaps we'll see that again from another competitor this time around. A very bold move in particular, though, that one was, with the risk of a speeding penalty looming when you try something like that. But if it works, it works.
We got a gold car, we got a pink car, and we got a blue car. 1, 2, 3. You know what colors those make when you mix them together?
Brown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, you mix a lot of any color together, it's eventually gonna turn brown.
This ain't a dirt track anymore.
No. Well, it's not a track, period, anymore, but
It's probably a strip mall.
wouldn't shock me. That are like expensive condos. Demolished in 1980.
Oh,
Been a hot minute since this place was last active.
kind of makes me sad. Upcoming races presented by
TeamHaven.com.
next week. TMP Championship Series concludes from the Michigan International Speedway, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time there. And then April 24th, it's the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series. That's next Thursday from Vegas, Sin City, 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time. There's next few races live right here only on JTN.
You know what? I was expecting worse.
Pit stops.
I a little earlier this time.
A little bit. Ooh, that's gonna make me. That makes me a little worried about getting to the end of this race, Dewey.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. We saw them come in, I think, lap 34 or so last time.
Yeah, and that was with
lap
a caution.
65 this time. Yeah. So we're talking 37, 38 laps here to the end of this race. Gonna be real tight on fuel when they do. As now the 86 comes in. I think this is going to be the one where it'll be advantageous for those guys that pit on lap 1 to maybe stay out an extra lap or two, because that lap could come back to be really helpful at the end of this race.
Yeah, right now, you need to just run as many laps as possible.
The field's going to be much more spread out, though, than they were coming in, as the 85 is now a considerable amount of time behind the 0, and they were about neck and neck prior to this round of stops.
I almost wonder if on this stop maybe you take like a can of fuel, or you take you take a splash, or you do something like that, and then you pit in like 4 or 5 more laps. I don't know.
Entirely possible, as the 6 of Napic will come in from the lead here, so
Because the
getting up
gap
to
that they were
another
able to
lap.
pull on the 12 kind of indicates that they didn't take tires, or they took 2 tires.
we'll have to see where the 12 ends up cycling out, because I don't know if he's
He's
coming
pit.
down pit road
Yes,
yet.
he is.
Well, if he did, then he cycled out ahead of the 0. Or, oh, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Timing and scoring is
It's taking its
kind of
time.
a normal one right now. Yeah. Battle there between Jamie Tedder and the 12 out of turn 2. Currently scored 8th and 9th, but we'll see where they are once these stops are all set up and done. As the 2 of Fenkel, just like last time, will be the final car to pit this time.
He's the one that you feel like has a shot to make it to the end, right?
Yeah, I feel much more comfortable about the prospects of him making it, because it's now lap 70, and he's yet to come down pit road. So I'm feeling pretty good about him making it all the way, whereas all those guys that came down on lap 65, that's going to be real close. Might see some clutching and fuel saving from those handful of drivers before this race is over. There's a 37 lap run at the end, that's really pushing the envelope. As Tom Goodman comes in with the 2 as well. Obviously not the night Tom was looking for with the lap 1 flip, but making the most of it here. Doing what he can. Tell you what though, Joe, Josh 2 has caught up to the 0 of John Wall, and once these two come around, this is going to be the battle for the lead, and it's leading the way of the 85 here out of turn 5. New leader, Josh 2, with 32 laps to go.
Oh, Dewey, I am concerned with how strategies are gonna play out here.
Yeah, this one is something.
There are all kinds of things at play. You see, Rich Napick, Tom Musa, Viper, they're all a little bit further back. Viper right now has that final transfer spot into the championship. I'm sorry, Rich Napick has the final spot into the championship. Top 3 would all advance if the race were to finish right now. Viper's been the guy that's kind of just slowly made his way towards the front of this field. Ooh, Musa gets the apron a little bit. And watching 3rd, 4th, and 5th as 3rd place Rich Napick and 5th place Viper are battling for that last championship transfer spot. Josh 2 has about a 7/10 of a second lead over John Wall.
We'll have to see as well what the tire usage for the 85 is compared to the 0. Though if neither of them can make it to the end on fuel, it might not matter.
And Tom Musa is back down pit lane. This to top off on fuel.
Has to be. So he
Windrow
must really
also.
think that those... Yeah, they must think that the guys that pit on 65 are not going to be able to make it to the end, so...
Which, I mean, the math says that they can't.
Right.
The only guy that we
good
think...
call there for the 4 and the 12.
The only guy that we really think can make it is Rich Finkel in the 2. Right? Like, that's the guy that we feel like has the best shot of making it.
Yeah, with how late he pit, he should be totally fine, but it gets a little murky beyond him.
Mm-hmm.
But now with the 85 and the 0 running all on their own up here at the front...
Well, and the 85 is just full throttle. He's going for it right now, so I think he's going to pit no matter what.
I think with the gap that's forming now between him and the 0, I think we could see John Wall potentially try to clutch and save some to make it to the end, but the 85 looks to be completely disinterested in any of that, and is just going to go until either the wheels fall off or the tank runs empty. It'll be entertaining either way, though.
It's always entertaining. Josh 2 closing in on Dan Rubino, who sits 10th, trying to put that 44 car lap down. Big moment there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end up working, but I definitely respect the 85 there for just taking it until the thing won't drive anymore and hoping something happens. Because if a caution comes out while he's leading,
Yeah, and he's got a
It
bunch of
might
guys
be-
trapped.
yeah, if that happens, I mean, job well done. I think that's the ideal outcome for him, but that's a huge what if, because if it doesn't happen, then you might lose enough spots to where it takes him out of that championship transfer spot. So it's a very risky game he's playing, but
So Josh 2 now has an 9.5 second lead over John Wall, who is
yeah, and the
clutching.
Zero was the leader. Yeah, Wall was leading this race when the cycle ended, and that was only, about 20 laps ago. So the 85 has opened up a massive advantage, but it's another 10 seconds back from the Zero to Viper in third place. So the advantage here, I think, might be going to John Wall, because even if he runs out, he's got a buffer to potentially coast to the end before third place can catch him. So the gap now is almost 11 seconds. So the Zero has definitely been clutching and saving every lap since he was passed by the 85. And Josh 2 has been running it, full steam for about this entire run. Yeah, that gap just keeps ballooning. Lap after lap. It's now almost 13 seconds between the 85 and the Zero.
I mean, like we said, that 85 is going to pit. He's going to pit.
I mean, or is he hoping that he runs out on the lap and this is big enough buffer between himself and the Zero?
And the other thing is he is catching the 2. Right? And the 2 of Rich Fenkel is the guy that we think will cycle out as the winner or as the leader, right? Because he's
potentially
doesn't have to make that extra stop. We think, potentially.
And he also can run it full steam just like the 85 is without having to worry about clutching or saving or anything like the Zero.
And the 85's been faster, right? I think that's just been, the 2 has not had the same pace that the 85 has had.
Yeah, so it's almost canceling out a little bit.
Yes.
At this juncture of the race.
But can the 0, the 6, the 24, can any of those guys make it to the end? That's the other question. All questions we will answer in a little bit of time here. Dewey, what's your favorite question? Before we have to get super serious here for the end of the race.
I just like asking people why.
Oh, okay. Why?
Haha. Why not?
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Got him.
Hit me with a change up there.
Gap is now 15 seconds. So, average lap time right now for the 85 is, his last time by, he ran a 31.4. So, he's basically half a track ahead of the Zero right now.
Jeez.
And he's coming up on the 86 to put him a lap down, who's running an 8th. just put, I think, John Palmer 2 laps down there in the 108. And I'm working on Daryl Johnston to put the 86 down a lap. So if Josh 2 somehow manages to make this to the end, it's going to be one of the most dominant wins of the season. Because it's about 17 seconds of a lead now, and he's got half the field lapped. So it's almost like we saw that 3 days ago.
Oh man, don't remind me. That was that race on Sunday was it was something, let me tell you.
It was. That one was so interesting though, because like watching qualifying in practice, it was like, ooh, you know, this might be a repeat of the fun, interesting, unpredictable race that was in the spring last year. And then it got to Sunday and it was like, man, what happened?
It got warmer.
And the answer was literally nothing.
Got warmer.
Yeah, a little too warm for those tires. As we see a pitter here, Irv Johnston
Daryl Johnston also.
and Daryl, both of them, here on lap 93. Well, 93 for them, 95 for Josh too. So the 85's got 9 laps to go. He just ran a 31.8, so his times are definitely starting to slow down a little bit. So we'll see if he can try to clutch it and maybe save for these last 8 laps and bring it on home. But the gap between himself and John Wall is now over 20 seconds. So the zero clearly is still saving as well. He just ran a 33.1 last time by.
When does the 85 pit?
Or does he just not pit at all and runs the thing dry?
Oh, he's got a pit, do he?
Because I'm looking at different lap times just to see what we've got going on. As, again, the 85 just ran a 32.1. Jim Windrow in 7th just ran a 31.2. Tom Musa ran a 31.2. So those two, looks like they're not saving at all further back in the field.
Well, no, they pit.
They did, but I don't know. It's gonna be close for them as well.
No. They came and pit a second time.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, my memory is very short today.
That's okay.
But full steam ahead for them either way. But the zero still running low
Still
33,
trying to save.
so he's still saving as much as he can. Now 22.5 seconds behind the 85.
No, Rich Napick,
now
Viper, they're still saving, and here comes Rich Finkel in the 2.
Yeah, Fankel now up into 6th, because I think he was running closer to 9th or 10th when this cycle started. So, a net gain for him regardless of who wins this race.
Here comes
he's gonna
Josh,
pass
too.
And the 2 is getting the 67 here for 5th.
So 85 is now down pit lane. Comes to pit road with a 22-second lead.
Coming to 5 to go. So I imagine here he's going to take a splash and try to spend as little time on pit road as possible, but the zero is still going to pass him. I think. He's already out of his pit stall, so he just took a splash. The zero is just hit pit entry right now.
At start-finish line and clutching.
This might be closer than we think, Joe. I think the 85 is going to keep the lead.
I think he is, and he's going to, in theory, he can run flat out.
Wow.
Hopefully.
What a gamble by Josh, too.
My God.
That is unbelievable that he made that work.
Coming to 4 to go.
Now we'll see what the zero decides to do. I mean, is he going to try to run it and catch the 85, or is he content with second place?
Well, I mean,
Because he just ran a 32.8. He's picking the pace up a little bit.
second place advances him in the championship. That's the other thing to remember.
Definitely true, but I'm sure a win would be nice for him as well.
Win would always be nice, but big prizes on the line next week. I am still in shock and awe that Josh managed to at least retain the lead. Race isn't over yet. 3 to go.
He really might have just pulled that off, huh? I think he's still saving a little bit because he just ran a 32.7.
John
and
Wall.
the Zero ran a 33 flat. So
Well, don't forget
Josh
the
must have
tires.
taken-
Tires
also
are
true.
also very old.
But the 85 must have taken like as little fuel as you possibly can just to get him that last little stretch. But coming around here out of turn 5 to take 2 laps to go here at Trenton, and if he can hold off the Zero, that might be one of the ballsiest fuel strategies I've ever seen. To just go full steam that long, builds up that big of a lead, and retain the lead after actually coming down pit road.
Yeah.
I mean, what a gamble that is. And if he can make it this last lap, I mean, job well done.
White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. Presented by Death Craver, and you got cars on pit lane.
The Zero's coming in, and the 24 of Vipers, so that
2 championship drivers.
So Josh went full steam the whole last run, pit for a splash, and he might make
might
it
be
around
out.
here for the win. The
No, he's
Zero
still running. He's
clutched
still
it.
running.
The Zero saved the entire run, and he had to pit coming to the white flag. And now out of turn 5, Josh 2 on fumes. He just ran out of turn 5. Josh 2 on fumes.
Oh, no,
is
Rich
gonna
got
take
him.
Wait,
No.
did the 6 get him?
The 2.
Oh, no!
The 2.
No, Finkel got him, Joe.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
I told you don't
We were right. The 2 got him.
don't count your chickens until they hatch.
Wow. I thought for sure the 85 had it. I didn't realize how fast the 2 was
Look at
gaining
that.
on him.
Oh my god, heartbreak.
Passed him with about 100 feet to go before the checkered flag.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I don't know. We didn't jinx him. That was not us.
So the margin of victory is about just under 0.4 of a second, but that does not tell the story at
Here
all.
is Josh 2 out of gas. You see the flames out of the exhaust. There goes the 2.
Yeah, it did not occur to me. Never occurred to me that like that was. I thought he'd put him a lap down. Honestly, it didn't occur to me that like Fenkel had passed that many other cars, and man, he just got. That's actually unbelievable.
Well, and Josh has to be kicking himself if he would have saved just a little bit more, you know?
I mean, definitely heartbreak for the win, but
Hey, you're moving on.
still enough to get him on to next week.
That's right.
I don't know about the Zero though, because the Zero pit coming to the white while running in second and ended up 7th.
So it's going to be the 85, the 6, and then the 0 will be the final to advance, it looks like. So it looks like same
Wow.
guys all still advance. As Richard Fenkel brings it around, he gets to burn it down for the fans here in Trenton.
That was a very unexpected and fun ending.
A little bit.
About a 100-lap run to the end, green.
Love to see that. Well, we'll move on to our post-race results. Get those for you on your screens in mere moments. Also get to talk with our top 3. After this one, let's go ahead and start by heading down into victory lane and talking with the driver of the number 2 who pulls off the masterful strategy, Richard Fenkel. Rich, you got a copy?
Hey Joe, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man, but holy crap, how's it going for you?
Well, that was a little unexpected, I must say. I don't know what else to say. I mean, it was just a fuel strategy from the very first stop.
Mhm.
Once I figured it out, I had I had to save a little bit on that last run, but it was pretty good. I was getting a little nervous right at the end there, but got lucky with a couple guys having some fuel issues. But that's what happens on a track like that.
You see a couple guys pull off, come into the white flag, and then you're catching. You're catching the 85, you're catching the 6. coming down to the finish of this race. What's going through your mind when you see that a couple of guys pull off, but then also knowing that the 85 had pit at one point to get some more extra fuel?
Well, I was thinking, okay, top 5 is going to be nice. Then all of a sudden I'm in third, and then coming down that last final straightaway, 2 guys are running out. It's like I can't. It's like just gift wrapped right for me. I mean, I've won a lot of races, but I don't think I've won one quite like that yet.
Well, it's always good to add a new trophy to the case. Obviously, like you mentioned, and we could tell up here in the booth because you went longer than everyone on both stints in this race. What went into that? What went into the saving that you did that, one, made it so you could catch those guys as they were saving a little bit harder on that last run since they had pit before you, but also did that kind of help you keep the tires underneath the car a little bit longer, a little more evenly than your competitors?
Yeah, I think that my tires probably lasted a little bit longer. I didn't really have the tires were pretty good even when I was forced to stop for fuel. And that all started with that first caution that we had right at the beginning of the race. I ducked in right before the green flag there and topped off. And I figured, well, you know what? I'm just going to go until I have to stop. And then everybody started that first set of pit stops. Everybody started pitting, and I still was like 7 or 8 laps to the good. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go until maybe 2 to go. And that's what I did. And it just carried on to the next stop. And like I said, I was pretty close to fuel, but I did not run out. I made it to victory lane without running out, so I had a little bit in the tank.
Well, Rich, congratulations on the big win here tonight. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. A lot of great folks behind you, some great folks to shout out. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
Hey, thanks. First of all, thanks to you guys, Joe at JTN, for putting this on. Tom and Roger and everybody at TMP, all the guys that we race with every week. Great group of guys. Glad to be here. Glad to be back in victory lane. Looking forward to next season. So I appreciate it, guys.
Rich, man, congratulations once again on the big win here tonight. Taking you in this 2-car into victory lane. As always, a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you. And best of luck next week at Michigan, and hope to be talking with you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Rich Finkel, driver of the number 2, your race winner here tonight. Now we head to the opposite side of the coin. He's the driver of the number 85, had a masterful strategy but comes up short. Josh 2. Josh, do you have a copy?
I'm here. Yep.
How much more gas do you think you needed?
I needed, you would think I know I made it to the next round of the championship, so I should be excited, but that was heartbreaking because I think if I had saved another corner, I mean, I was what, 2/10 from the line, and he passed me. I mean, I can't win a race here. I swear, I don't think I can win a race at this spot. I don't know. I hate that.
One thing, though, you mentioned it there, you still get the opportunity to go for a championship next week, and depending on who's in front of you at the end, you don't necessarily have to win the race next week to win the championship. So with that in mind, how do you kind of rebound from maybe the disappointment from tonight to look forward to and prepare for a championship run next week at Michigan?
Yeah. Well, the championship series here has gone really well for me. I talked to you the first week. I barely missed you last week. I'm back again. So as far as the points and everything has gone really well. I just can't believe that's just wild. I'm sure you got it. Probably made for great TV. So I'm happy for you guys.
Well, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. We were, I think, just as shocked. It sounds like you were a little shocked coming off of turn 5, turn 4, whatever you want to call it, that the thing ran out. But man, Josh, it was a phenomenal strategy. Love the fact that you tried something different from everyone else in the field. You get out to that 23-second lead, take a splash of fuel there at the end. Did you think that you were going to be able to cycle through with the race lead, or was it kind of a strategy to run it really hard and see what happens?
honestly, I didn't know if I would stay in the lead.
Mhm.
But when I came out, I thought, okay, I looked, I could tell how far back the other guys were. And I thought I can, and you probably saw I was letting out and letting
Yep.
out and letting out, trying to let some, just save a little fuel. And I honestly, when I took the white flag, I thought, I think I'll win this thing. Well, heck, even out of the last turn, I thought
we were
think I
pretty much
can
calling
coast.
it in the booth.
I was like, I think I can coast the rest of the way. And I couldn't really tell what was going on behind me. And anyway, he flew by me, and I wasn't going to try to block that. I mean, I was out of fuel, and like these guys are great racers. I'm not going to try to block them and see what happens. I mean, so yeah, I didn't really know what would happen. I knew I had a good point spot, and I really needed to finish up near the front. But heck, when I took the white and was in the lead, I forgot all that, and I said, I just want to win the race. I mean, at this point, and it just wasn't meant to be.
Not meant to be here tonight, but Josh, still a phenomenal run and great to watch out there on track. Before we let you go, first want to thank you for not only taking some time to talk with us, but thank you for your sponsorship of us coming out to broadcast these races, sponsorship of this series. And before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity, because we know you got some great folks to shout out. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys. I'm happy to do it, and you guys always do a great job. And the drivers here are great. I mean, the top three up here, I mean, these are great racers, and they're always very comfortable. It's always really comfortable to race around these guys. And yeah, I just, like I said, the championship series has gone really well for me. And I just have tried to do 1 week at a time. And, I am disappointed about not winning, but the big picture is I at least get to move on to the next round. And a lot of people don't. And some of those people are fantastic racers. So I'm happy with that. And appreciate you guys. Appreciate Roger and Tom that put the league on. Appreciate my SMO mates that are over here racing with us. And I appreciate their help. And yeah, and Josh's eggs, of course. And I think that's about it. We just came up a tiny bit short, but we live to race another day, right?
Live to race another day, and it's going to be a good one next week. Josh, again, man, congratulations on the great result. Advancing the championship. No, it's disappointing the way the race finishes, but man, you gave us a heck of a show tonight. And again, can't thank you for your time here talking with us after this one.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope I gave you a clip you can put in your commercials.
There we go. Josh, too, driver of the 85, your second place finisher here tonight from Trenton. Let's go ahead and finally talk with our third place finisher. He's also advancing to the championship next week, driver of the number 6, Rich Napick. Rich, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
All right, ran out of fuel there at the end, huh? But
No, I didn't run out. I still was to the lap.
Oh my goodness!
I was just making sure I could finish.
All right.
I'd like to say congratulations to Rich Franco. That was a hell of a job.
Well, I mean, a heck of a job from you too to also put yourself into this championship next week. What went into saving enough fuel to make it to the end of this race?
Well, the last pit stop, I wasn't pitting after that.
Yeah.
But I had to make that fuel stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And right from after that pit stop was saving fuel, just watching who was around me, seeing who was in the top 3, and that's who I raced or tried to keep up with.
In those moments, are you aware of the championship battle versus the battle for the race win? Are you thinking about those things, or is it just if I finish in top 3, I know that's all I have to do no matter what. If I finish in the top 3, I advance.
Yeah, that's all I was looking at to see who were the 6 drivers that were left. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty sure the 0 wasn't going to make it. And so I was worried about Viper because he was right with me the last, I don't know, like 20 laps or 15. And I think he ran out on the last lap. So, and I saw the 2 coming, and I let him go because I was racing the 2.
What?
I was worried about everybody else behind me, besides not him.
When when the 2 is screaming on your bumper there at the end of the race, what goes through your mind? Are you just, all right, go ahead, go by, don't get into me, don't mess up in front of him, you know that he's pushing a little bit harder? How do you kind of manage that?
I just gave him room in the corner and just let him go, because I knew he was faster, and so I'm looking at a different picture than him.
Well, a picture that becomes a little bit clearer with a shot to go out and win a championship next week. Rich, congratulations on securing that opportunity. Congratulations on the podium here tonight. Before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity. You got some great folks behind you, some great folks to shout out. The floor is yours. You know what to do.
Yep. Thanks to JTN. You guys do a good job. Thanks to Tom and Roger for doing this. And thanks for all the guys that show up and race every week. It's a really good racing, I think. And I hope everybody enjoyed the broadcast.
It was a great time for us up in the booth. Sounds like it was a great time for all the drivers out there tonight. Rich, congratulations on the 3rd place finish. Always a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you. And again, can't thank you enough for your time after this one. Best of luck next week.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Rich Knapik, driver of the number 6, your 3rd place finisher, and moving on to the championship next week at Michigan. Let's go ahead and bring in series official Tom Musa, because I see him lurking here in the media center. Tom, do you have a 4th championship member for us?
I do.
Oh boy!
Fourth driver by 1 point is Jamie Tedder.
Oh, is that why you brought Jamie in here?
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at that.
He beat Jim by 1 point.
1 point.
And that first race is where it all went bad. So.
Oh. Well, Jamie, how's it feel knowing that you get a second opportunity to try to win this championship?
I will say it's pure luck, but I appreciate the opportunity, because tonight, lap 1,
it did not go well, did it?
Did not go well. So,
is the outlook then for next week? Just hey, I'm playing with house money at this point. It's Michigan too. On top of that,
well, and I enjoy Michigan, but I know there's a lot of good competition here. So, Rich and John. It's going to be tough. I'm just going to drive the track, race my race, and finish wherever I finish. That's my goal.
That's fair. Don't get involved in an accident on lap 1.
Yeah.
Is that the... All right. And I mean...
That happened at the first race too, didn't it, Jamie?
It did. But I went back and looked at the replay several times before Tom drug me in here, and the 44, he slowed up a little bit, and then it's like his car twitched. I don't know what happened, so I just moved to the right to keep from running into him, and that's when the 33 got me from the back. So
an accordion.
Yeah, sure was.
And I don't know about y'all, but I don't like accordion music. Just like I don't like accordions on the racetrack. So I don't know. Whatever.
Right.
Hey, listen.
But overall, it was a great race, and I definitely appreciate everything that Tom and Roger has brought with TMP, and I appreciate the opportunity to race here. So,
well, appreciate you stopping in here. Congratulations on advancing by body of work these last 3 weeks. Anyone else you want to shout out before we let you go?
Well, you know it, because JT, without him, we wouldn't be broadcasting to all these people that are watching. So, but yeah, shout out to TMP for sure. They do their strategies and what they come up with as far as game plans. It just all have to work for that win. And I have to say, tonight, the first run, I wore my tires out. So the second run, I was still in the ring when it pitted. So it's just all about saving tires and saving fuel too. So, but yeah, I appreciate all of you.
Well, Jamie, again, man, congratulations on moving on. Appreciate you taking some time to talk with us. You got great initials too, by the way. And yeah,
yes.
Hopefully we'll be talking with you again next week, maybe with a championship and a race win.
You never know.
Never know. Jamie Tedder, driver of the 910, he is moving on to the championship next week. That will be live right here on JTN. So make sure, folks, if you haven't already, you click the like button. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a second of that action. You can also go over to that live stream right now. You can go click a little bell icon on that one, and you will be notified to your smart device when the race starts. So no opportunity to miss it, because we'll be reminding you, we'll be pinging your phone. Remember, you can also check out the TMP Racing website to find out more about TMP Racing League. You can also check out their Facebook. Encourage you to go check those out. We have them linked down in the video description below. A big thank you, as always, again, in these TMP Championship races this year goes out to Josh's Eggs for their sponsorship of the series and us coming out and broadcasting live each and every week right here on JTN. And with all of that being said, folks, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for my colleague Dewey Schramm, I've been Joe Twansky. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
3 wide for second, but Sean Whitehill is going to bring it home and win the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Ricky J closing up, off turn 4. He's going to have a run to the inside. He blocks into the grass. Checkers out. Hardy wins it.
Ricky, what's going on in your brain right now?
Yeah, putting on 4 big rubber shoes and 2 gallons of, not 2 gallons, 2 cans of exploding dino juice here, Joe.
Down to the tunnel turn. These guys are throwing it through there and around to the back. Oh, no. The wall, as well as RJ Bishop. Down in front of Keith Hughes. Oh, no! Big hit. RJ Bishop.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Ricky
big
J,
wreck.
big crash into the wall.
Oh,
the leaders
no.
have wrecked. Ricky J is upside down. Magoo is hard in the wall. Tyler Mallon escapes with no damage. Everybody else in this main group, including Nelly, is junk.
Through the north chute they'll go. The 24's into the wall. Almost contact there. The 10 with the shallow entry into turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway. Folks, the 24's in the wall. They make contact around. Nappick goes on through the flip. Rich Nappick's going to win the Culver Block 200 in thrilling fashion.